Hey, welcome to Friday Night Connection. My name. Not gonna.
I just did one of these.
So
I just did one of these. Oh, hello.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to Friday Night Connection. My name is Josh Christensen, the lead pastor at Imagine Church. I'm Anthony DeCamillis, our associate pastor, and we're so thankful that you've chosen to join with us tonight. We are in a brand new set, and so kind of excited to be in a new spot. So.
It feels like home. That's good.
We got some new studio lights. It's a new thing. So, hey, as we jump into tonight, we want to, number one, first of all, just say thank you for choosing to make Friday Night Connection a regular part of your rhythm. We just believe that social distancing doesn't need to be the equivalent of social isolation here at Imagine, and so every single Friday, we just have new videos for you guys to be able to interact with. And last week, we attempted to play to Connect 4, varying levels of challenge. I realized how hard it is to actually play Connect 4 while being cognizant that I'm in a conversation and that the camera is rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. It was much trickier than I thought. I felt like I was in a psychological experiment where you were deprived of sleep and then had to do a basic task. So I was surprised by that I actually had to stop and look and think. But I dominated.
Yeah, we don't want to go there. It still makes me tense. So this week we have a brand new game, and this time we want to play a game that includes you. And so we're going to be playing Family Feud, one of the best games that is out there as far as interaction goes. And so in just a minute, you are going to give me a category. You've got the top 5 answers in the given category, and so we want to invite you to play along with us. See if you can beat me in just a moment. See if you can beat Anthony. And so if you are on Facebook, there will be a poll that will show up, and it will give you the 5 answers, and you can click on which one you think is the top one. And so, or drop a comment on something that you were thinking. But yeah, so let's give this a try and see how it goes, because clearly I'm ready to go. So,
all right, here we go. Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. We could actually flicker the lights a little bit. We should probably do
we
that.
should have done that. Yeah, who wants to be a millionaire? So.
Okay, here we go. Name something people put in their front yard.
Oh my gosh. Something that people put into their front yard. I will say that one of the things that people should be putting into their front yard, flowers.
Flowers is correct.
Yeah.
You only get 3 wrong ones, right?
Oh, yeah, I believe that's
can't
it.
get more.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Flowers.
You're good.
I will say that this would be my answer, which would be a basketball hoop. Absolutely an essential thing, but my guess is that it is not there.
So was that a guess?
Yes. So,
you don't get like an X back.
Fine. Yeah, I'll go with basketball hoop. Basketball hoop.
Basketball hoop is not one of them.
That is absolutely ridiculous. So all y'all are wrong. I'll say trees. Do people put trees in their front yard? I'm going to say yes.
I cannot accept trees. That's 2 strikes.
Oh my goodness. This is literally the worst. Come on. All right. So you don't have trees.
No.
But you do have flowers.
Yes.
Yard signs? Is yard signs one? Like for garage sales? Like for, like, I'm selling my house because my front yard is awful and I need a new one? Like, where are we at here?
That is incorrect.
Come on!
Since you knew a basketball hoop was not going to be one, I think that earned you an extra
I appreciate.
strike.
All right, I appreciate your grace.
So you fouled that one off. You get 1 point this year.
This is ridiculous. How in the world is
something people put in their front yard?
Something that people put into their front yards. I will say bushes.
No.
No. What? This is a joke. What kind of a scheme? What kind of people did they talk to? Fine. What are the other 4? This is unreal.
Something that decorative people put in their front yard. Okay, so I can give this away, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so number 5 was fountain. I would have accepted a bird feeder.
Who puts a fountain in their front yard?
I would have accepted bird feeder.
Oh my gosh.
Or one of those like blue balls on top of a pedestal. I would have accepted that because I think it's supposed to be like a fountain.
Yeah.
With the blue representing water. But anyway,
one of my all-time.
You should have said a blue ball.
I should have. One of my all-time favorite favorite moments, preaching-wise, was when I borrowed one of those decorative blue balls from a neighbor to use as a sermon illustration. And I remember when I went and had the conversation, they looked at me and they were like, "What are you talking about?" But they just kind of went over and picked it up and were like, "Sure."
I'd like to borrow your dream orb, please.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was pretty ridiculous. So.
All right, 5 was fountain.
Yep.
Number 4 was a letterbox/mailbox.
Oh my God. I guess, in fairness, the last few years, we have not had a mailbox in our front yard. So,
Specifically the bass one.
Yeah.
Where it's like a fish. No.
oh my goodness.
The third one, number 3, was a fence.
Fence.
Flowering plants was number 2. That was pretty good.
Grass. Is grass number 1?
But number 1 was the garden gnome.
The garden gnome? Are you kidding me? The only people that I know that have garden gnomes are people who are over the age of 65. And I'm sorry, if you have a garden gnome and you are under the age of 65, it might be time to go have a conversation with yourself in the mirror. I am just saying. So, oh my goodness. All right.
I scrolled up. I don't know what the next one is.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's do this one. What are things that come in pairs? Things that come in pairs. So for you that are at home, you can feel free to click on the answer that you think is going to be the top one, or to comment below on your own guess as well. But yeah, what are things that come in pairs?
Wow. I am drawing a total blank right now. Socks.
Socks is good. That is correct.
Okay.
Pure domination, 1 for 1. Lucky guess. I'm
Things
just kidding.
that come in
Things
pairs.
that come
a
in
pair
pairs. Yep.
Of, a pair of.
Yep.
A pair of pants.
That is incorrect. Also, I'm pretty excited. I don't know too many people that buy 2 pairs of pants at the same time.
That was a stretch.
Yeah, it was a good. It was. A
I was
good guess.
overconfident after getting the socks right out of the gate.
I mean, I guess basketball hoop. So who knows? So
of dice.
Dice would be a good guess. Unfortunately, that is strike number 2. So
okay, I got to regroup.
yeah, we are struggling in this.
Things that come in pairs.
Things that come in pairs. What are things that come in pairs? So socks, you
like
you
real,
had
like
correct.
things.
Yeah, these are
Not
actual.
just like ears or something.
It could be any and everything. So yeah, the world is in front of you.
Pairs.
Things that come in pairs. A pair of.
I don't know how literally to take this when the pants didn't work out for me
Yes,
so
the pants
well.
did not work out for
A
you.
pair
well.
of glasses?
That would be a very good guess, but unfortunately, that is yet another.
Oh my gosh!
Although it was close, like it was kind of in the same vein. So one of them were eyes, a pair of eyes. Now, why in the world you would have eyes and not other things, I don't know. But
I didn't need to go that direction.
it was definitely there. All right, so top 5 answers. Number 5 were hands, a pair of hands.
So body parts that
Yeah.
come into
Apparently.
generally
This one.
symmetrical appendages.
This one is literally 2 bodies because the answer
Twins.
number 4 were twins.
That was my next one. Twins coming too.
Number three were eyes. You were just off the mark with glasses on that one. Number 2 was socks, and number 1 were the things that socks go into, which is a pair of shoes. So between garden gnome and shoes, we have made it really clear that we are the worst at playing Family Feud. So hopefully you had a good time. Yeah. We tied being literally the worst at this. So hopefully you got some laughs out of this thing and enjoyed playing along. But as we think about what the last week has been like, what has it been like for you?
Oh, this last week has been weird. Here's why it's been weird. It's been weird for everybody in some ways, and varying degrees of stress versus stability. But here's what's been weird for me is that I have spent, honestly, now most of my career working from home. I teach for a couple online schools, and it's been pretty eye-opening to see a lot of people who fortunately still have working from home and transitioning home, because it's kind of like all the dark secrets are being exposed of what it's like to work from home. You'll go across social media and you're like, oh man, people know now that you really you don't have to like shower every day. You know, like coffee can be like more than one meal a day. You can, you know, restrictive pants are very optional. I did not say pants are optional. I said restrictive pants are optional.
I'm glad that you worked that in.
You can have business up top and, you know, party.
Absolutely.
Or shorts with whatever collar.
Yeah.
It works. It works. So it's been weird to watch people transitioning into the dark world that I know. It takes some discipline to be at home, for sure. It takes a lot of discipline. So I don't know, how about you? What's it like this last week?
You know, I think it has been a realization that this is the new normal.
Yeah.
And we started distance learning this week and have had varying levels of success or really struggle with that. Who knew that third grade phonics were so hard? Like, what in the world? I've spent more time, like, Elijah, our oldest, will ask me a question. I'll be like, yeah, I know, while I quickly Google it on my computer. But yeah, it's exactly been that. But I think it really has been this settling in of just this is the way it is right now.
Yeah.
And that's been more challenging than what I thought. I think so often it's been like, I have a hard time just getting through the day, let alone thinking about, and I know we talked about this a little bit before, but, you know, thinking about next week or next month and even the task list that I start off with in the morning, by the time it hits, you know, the end of the day, it's like, I just have been trying to survive, let alone trying to check those things off. And so, you know, being at home a little bit more has been great, but it also has been, you know, challenging for sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I can picture like this. I've seen emotional response chart things where, like, when there's an event, a catastrophic event, you have a big move or a tragedy or something. There's that completely disorienting moment where you're just collapsing, but then there's a settling in period. And I feel like that's kind of where we are in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
This new normal and starting to find some rhythms and starting to, you know, panic at regular intervals throughout the day when the darkness descends, right? Like, oh my goodness, the global pandemic. It still sounds outrageous out loud. But, right.
Well, and I think too, it's just been another reminder of how thankful I am for faith. You know, that there is that anchor that I have to hold on to. And it just has been a reminder to me of the opportunity that I have to be that light and to spread that joy, whether it's with my neighbors, with siblings, with friends or relatives. And it's scary for me sometimes, and I have that anchor to hold on to. I know the struggle, or I can only imagine the struggle it is for those people who don't have, you know, that faith or that anchor. And so I'm thankful to be able to intentionally try to at least think through some of those ways, to be able to be that light. You know, as we think about the world that we're in, obviously a lot of challenge, a lot of rhythms that are up in the air, or people that are just getting into some rhythms. But as you think about what you've been going through, what kind of encouragement would you have for people that are watching this tonight?
Yeah, right on. You know, we've been hearing a lot about when we get back to normal. Man, is that like loaded, right? Because we're all like, what does that really mean? What's changing? What's not going to change? And one thing I know for sure is there's going to be surprises across the board of what, you know, what returns and what doesn't. But I heard it, I came across it this week. I thought it was really powerful. Just the idea that right now, when everything's still disrupted and we're out of our norms, as we think about that rush and that desire to go back to normal, in air quotes, it's a really great time right now to think about what kind of normal do we really want to return to. You know, and this is a good time wherever you're at. I know there's stresses across the board and a spectrum of it, but, you know, if you can think of during this time, think real intentionally about, you know, is there anything I want to change when that normal returns? What's worth going back to when that normal returns? And so we can be pretty choosy about that right now and move forward even better than before, essentially. So different spheres, work, family, faith, whatever it is, think about what kind of normal you really do want return to.
I know that somebody that both me and you admire and follow is a guy by the name of Craig Rochelle, pastor down in Oklahoma, started Life Church, and he always talks about how he tries to never waste a crisis in the sense that every crisis that comes up gives you an opportunity to really evaluate what you're doing well and what are the things that you need to stop doing. And that just has been such a fantastic reminder of all of our rhythms are disrupted across every sphere. And there's things in my faith that I need to do better in. There's things in our family lives and our family rhythms that we need to do better in. As an organization, as Imagine, that we need to do better in. And so this allows us that opportunity to kind of process through that.
Yeah, it's a terrifying time for some that aren't comfortable with self-reflection, because we have so many opportunities now to pick up and examine every single element of our lives. And it's worth the discipline to decide what's worth setting back down and what's worth holding on to. I know we were just talking a minute ago about having that our faith as an anchor, something that clearly is something to hold on to and orient around. It's certainly something worth returning to a sense of normal.
Yeah. Well, as we wrap up our time together, I just want to say thank you for choosing to tune in again to Friday Night Connection. We want to let you know that next Friday, in place of Friday Night Connection, we are actually going to be live with our Good Friday service. And so we want to invite you to join us and to participate, to be a part of our Good Friday service. One of my favorite services of the year that we have not had the opportunity to do at Imagine, but because of the way that the world is, we get that chance today, or at least this year, not today, next week. But I'm really excited about that. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome. As we close our time together, I just want to just remind you that God cares. I want to remind you that He is in control, that He is faithful, that He is good, and that His love endures forever. And so thanks for being a part of Friday Night Connection. We hope that you join us again next week. Take care. God bless.